Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. So we're back and we're ready to start with the first lesson that Dad taught us, and that is go to church.
Mm-hmm.
You go to church.
Yeah.
And every Sunday he went, he had on, I remember that cream colored coat, he walked in with it right now. That one, and you had your Bible, which I will bring his Bible out
for me. It was the black coat and the cream note because
he hated a tie.
And it wasn't because he didn't want to dress up. It was because his neck was so thick. He was a stout, short man. That's where I get my height from. And it just feel like he was struggling. He didn't like it.
But now when we were younger, he wore a tie every Sunday. Yeah.
But my the older he got, the Mickey Mouse with the tennis rackets. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do. And he had a Christmas one with a train on it. Yeah. And he had one with the nativity on it. Yeah. And so his
tie game was on point.
His tie game was on point. Yeah. His Sunday was on point.
Yeah.
And Dad, okay, so we work in generators. So Monday through Saturday, he was dirt, grease, oil, diesel fuel. We still have his drill, and I'll use it every once in a while, and it smells like him.
Because it smells like diesel fuel.
Because it smells like diesel fuel. And so
it's not one of those
no, it's not a fruity thing.
Fabric softener smell. It's fuel.
It smells like him because you're not going to get diesel fuel out of it. And so I remember this has been a couple of years ago. We were putting up some PVC fence posts at Mom's driveway, and I used Dad's drill to put them together, and I was bawling in the driveway, and my husband comes up, he says, "What in the world is wrong with you?" I said, "It smells like Daddy." Diesel fuel. My hands stunk for days, but they smelled like my dad. So, but during the week, now, and he kept his uniform clean. Like, if he got it dirty, it was because it was a bad job. But his hands, he had to clean it. But it was in grease, dirt all the time. But on Sundays, you went to church and you cleaned up, and that's what you did.
Yeah, he had a reverence for going to church. There's so many discussions about, it doesn't matter what you wear to church, and it really doesn't. Good, but Dad was reverent. Yeah, he had a reverent and a respect for cleaning up and going to church and presenting your best. And Mom was the same way. So that was just a theme throughout. That's what we did. Yeah. I knew she didn't care if I painted my fingernails yellow and blue on Saturday, but by Sunday morning, 10:15 on the way to church, they needed to be cleaned up, and that's just what we knew. And so there was this just assumption, and this is what we did on Sundays. Our family went to church. It was important. It was made a priority.
Yeah.
I think it would be very interesting to see. We've said this in other scenarios, but how Dad would have handled COVID in that we didn't go to church, or it was online, and now we sort of make lots of excuses. I'll just watch it online. That would have not. That wouldn't have worked for Dad.
No, it really wouldn't have. And that's one thing we talk about too. It didn't matter where we were on Saturday, or if we were out of town, or if we'd gone to the lake. We grew up playing at White Lake, and so it didn't matter. You were going to church on Sunday morning, and we came back to our church for Sunday morning.
Yeah.
That was not our time to just be free and do whatever. That was the time that we gave the Lord.
Well, he was committed to his church, and specifically I think that we're referring to the time when we were growing up. Dad was a Sunday school teacher, and so in our family, Sunday school teacher, board member, he was committed to our church, and he served in our church, and so Nancy Jo and I would ride to church early with him, get us a T-Mart biscuit.
Oh yeah,
there was Dad.
But you weren't going to be late.
No,
you were going to be there early.
One of the first few cars in the parking lot, and we would sit there for a long time before it's time to go in. But Dad was such a routine person that there was just no question about it. This is what we do on Sundays, and it came from that deep-seated commitment to his church family and into the positions that he held in church.
Oh yeah. Well, and there's stories after stories that you could talk to people who went to church with us during those years, and they would tell you about his commitment. I mean, these 30 years later, that they remember him, and he
praying
was
with him,
a pillar, and he was there, and they knew that they could count on him. Yeah. And so that's the lesson we want to talk about this week is go to church.
Go to church.
And we'll pick up here tomorrow and see you then. Bye, y'all.